Hello everyone, and thank you for watching this DIMENSE tutorial video. This video will give you the most important information on how to prepare files for printing with DIMENSE technology. We will be talking about 5 rules that you need to know before starting to work with DIMENSE files, and 4 most used Photoshop features when working with them. Let's start with the 5 rules. Every time you start working with designs, there are 5 important things that you need to check or set on your Photoshop. If you make a mistake in any of those settings, your design will not be printed properly. It means that either the file will not be recognized at all, so not printed, or it will be printed without any structure. The 5 rules are: choosing correct color profile, using CMYK color palette, using 8-bit channel, size and minimum resolution of 150 dpi, using spot channel. Let's go deeper into each of it. Rule number 1 is choosing correct color profile. The computer monitors have different calibration, and the colors on your display and in the actual print might not match. To minimize this difference, it is necessary to choose the right color profile. For that matter, we are using FOGRA 39. To set it, go to Command Line on top of the screen, click Edit, Color Settings, choose Coded FOGRA 39, and click OK. Now your print will be as close to your screen view as possible. However, keep in mind that slight differences in color are still possible. Rule number 2 is using CMYK mode when working with files. Most of the time, automatic option will be RGB mode, so it is necessary to change it to CMYK because DIMENSE printer does not read RGB color mode. To set it, go to Command Line on top of the screen, click Image, Mode, choose CMYK color. Rule number 3 is using 8 bits channel. Once again, most of the time the automatic option will be 16 bits or even 32 bits. But only 8-bit channel is working for DIMENSE printer. If you prepare your file and leave 16 bits, DIMENSE printer won't recognize that, so please make sure to have 8 bits channel. To set it, go to Command Line on top of the screen, click Image, Mode, and select 8 bits channel. Rule number 4, working with right size and good quality picture. As we are working with large format prints, it is very important to have at least 150 dpi resolution. If your design resolution is smaller, your print most probably won't look good and you will see pixels on the print. So please choose high resolution files for printing. Another thing, high-resolution files will allow you to save time, as you will be able to create structure by using automatic Photoshop functions rather than drawing it by hand. If your resolution is too low, Photoshop won't be able to track the details and you will have to do a lot of manual corrections. Of course, you don't want to do that. So, the minimum resolution of 150 dpi is very important, and do not try to enhance the resolution by simply typing 150 instead of whatever you had. That will not help. To check the resolution of your file, go to Command Line on top of the screen, click Image, Image Size, and check what is the resolution of the file right here. Another important thing about the size, we recommend to work with actual size of the file, not scaled. If you're working with a big-sized wall and that makes a big file, then it is better to split it into moderate-sized pieces and work on them separately. Scaling the file down may make the embossing lines too thin to be printed, while scaling up might make the details of the structure look unproportionally big. Rule number 5, using spot channel. So, you are now ready to create structure. In order to do that, you need to create a new spot channel. Please make sure that you created spot channel and not just a new channel, because DIMENSE printer recognizes only spot channel. If you create your structure in a simple new channel, printer won't see it and your print will have no structure. To create a new spot channel, first of all, open Channel window in the Command Line on top of the screen. Go to Window and click on Channels. Now you have a little menu on the right side of the screen. Find a little menu icon right here in the right corner. Click it and create a new spot channel. Once again, make sure that you selected New Spot Channel and not just New Channel. The second important thing is to name the spot channel capital letter S. This will be our structure channel, and we have to call it single capital letter S. If you will call it structural channel or structure or any other name, printer won't be able to read this channel. Now you want to choose color, which will indicate your structural ink. So click on the color box and choose a color that would be visible on your design. In this case, the picture is white and red, so we will choose something contrasting, for example, blue. And click OK. Now we will take a brush tool and draw something in this channel. As you can see, the line is blue, and it means that structural ink will be applied there. Please note that structural ink itself will not have the above selected color. It is only for indication purpose in your file. Everything that you draw on this channel will be printed with transparent structural ink, and all parts of your design where structural ink is printed will stay flat, while the rest of design without structural ink will raise up. Those were the 5 key rules that we have to check before starting to work with designs. Choose Fagra 39 color profile. Choose CMYK and not RGB. Make sure you're working on 8-bit channel mode. Have at least 150 dpi resolution and work on 1:1 scale. And make sure to create spot channel with name capital letter S. Now, before moving to 4 features that make work with DIMENSE files tremendously easier, we want to show you one additional important thing. You can see we drew a line in structural channel and the color is blue, as we have chosen. However, if we click this little eye here next to CMYK, everything becomes black and white. This happened because we switched off the CMYK colors, so we don't see the blue color anymore. We see only the structural ink, which is colored black. So don't be surprised when you switch off CMYK channels that your structural ink is now black. It is easy to remember when looking into design this way that when printed, all white areas will rise. In other words, the material will go up, and all the black areas, like this line, will stay flat, not go up. Let's move forward. Let us show you 4 Photoshop features which we're using most often to create a design for DIMENSE print. To make the process faster, we rely on Photoshop automatic functions that create a quite accurate drawing of structure in a few steps. Please memorize these 4 features. Find edges, threshold, dust and scratches, expand. Sometimes we need to draw some fragments or details in the design manually. Wacom Pen is a perfect tool for that. However, it is quite a long process, especially if you have a large-sized picture. First, create a new spot channel with the name of capital S, and don't forget to choose a color that is different from your design. We will choose blue as before and click OK. Make sure that solidity, the next thing to color box, is 100% and click OK again. After creating our spot channel, we need to copy our image to the new spot channel. To do that, step on the first CMYK line, select everything with Ctrl-A, and copy it with Ctrl-C. Then go to your spot channel, click on it, and place the image using Ctrl-V. As you see in the spot channel, we have a blue shoe. What we want to do now is to see how structure looks in black and white, because it's just easier to understand how it will look when printed. To do that, we go to CMYK and switch off the channel by clicking on that little eye on the left and then go back to the spot channel. As you can see now, we have a photo of the shoe in the gray color, and this is not okay for structure printing. We always need to have solid black color for structure. If you will use gray tones, the structure will only be partial. Also, most probably, we don't want the whole shoe to stay flat and have no details of structure, as it would be if we would print our design looking like that. We want to apply structure on some parts of it, maybe on the outline, maybe some small details, but not on the whole object. So what we have to do now is to convert this photo to black and white drawing. Basically, to convert a photo into technical drawing and to catch the main details of the object, which will be printed with the structural ink. For that matter, we will use the first of the Photoshop functions, the Find Edges function. So we go to Command Line on top of the screen, choose Filter, then Stylized, and Find Edge. What we have now is a lighter version of gray shoe, and this technical drawing isn't good enough. The details are too small and too light, and we already know that for structural ink, we would like to have strongly defined details, black lines, and black objects. To achieve that, we will use the function number 2, Threshold. Go to Command Line on top of your screen, click Image, Adjustments, and choose Threshold. You can see now on the right side of the screen, we have a threshold bar that we can navigate. Try to play with it a little bit by moving the line to the far left or to the far right to see how the image is changing and what effect it gives. For example, if we move it too much to the left, there are only a few black details left and almost everything is white. We also don't have a full shape of the shoe anymore. If we move too much to the right, we can see the full outline of the shoe. However, we have a lot of noise on the background. If all of that noise will be filled with structural ink, the details of the shoe won't be visible, and simply the whole shoe will stay flat. So we have to find something in the middle, when we still see quite a lot of details. Full body of the shoe, and the lines are strong enough, but unnecessary noise and small details are hidden. Something like that. And click OK. As you can see, we still have little details left on the body of the shoe, like right here and in other places. If we leave it like that, these details will be also applied with the structural ink, and on the print it will look messy without clearly defined structure. The noise around the line should be reduced. We can do that manually, however, there is a very good Photoshop function to do that automatically called Dust and Scratches Filter. To use it, go to Command line on top of the screen. Click Filter, click Noise, and then choose Dust and Scratches. Usually, it is enough to apply 1 or 2 pixels. However, let's see what happens if we apply more. For example, 20 pixels. You can see that the shoe is almost invisible now. Let's try another example. For example, 10 pixels. The result is still not good. If we try 5 pixels, still not good enough. So let's type 2 pixels and click OK. Right now, you can see a little bit less noise. The view is still good, and the lines are still clearly visible. Don't worry about the very small details that stayed on the body of the shoe. If you wish, you can clean them manually using an erasing tool in Photoshop. In our case, when working with structure, we don't mind very small details as the resolution of structure is not that fine, and such small details won't affect our print. Last but not least, Photoshop function, which we would like to employ is Expand. We use Expand function to create a border around objects. This function is quite often used when working with DIMENSE files. Please imagine that you want some beautiful object in design to stand out, and at the same time, the background should be with some structure too. In order to achieve a good print, it is necessary to separate both elements. The background shouldn't merge with chosen object. Remember that structure is created by printing of structural ink, and inks have a tendency to run into each other, right? So, for that matter, we use a border to separate the background from the object. Another example of the use of the border is if you want to print a standout logo or other object. The first idea which comes to your mind would be to make the logo stand out by letting it raise up and make all the background to stay flat, right? However, this is not the best way to prepare the file, because big spaces left flat don't look very beautiful in the print. And if you want to keep the whole background flat, you have to cover this space with a big amount of structural ink. So we recommend not to just fill the whole background with the structural ink, but to make a border around the logo with the structural ink. In this way, your logo will stand out and your background will look beautiful. And of course, the usage of structural ink will be way smaller. To show you how this works, we will use the "Have a nice day" example that we used before. The letters should be raised up, and also the background has some structure. And this is how it looks printed. As you can see, the red letters are raised up. However, on the background, we also have some structure, just without any color. So that the letters and the background structure wouldn't merge into each other, we have to separate them with a border. To show you how to create a border, we have a file with the S-spot channel already created. You can see the structure when we switch on the little eye next to the S channel. And if we switch it off again, you see only the design with the red letters and no structure. We will use these little eyes quite a lot to switch channels on and off in order to see structure better or to see selected colors. Now we switched off CMYK channel, and therefore, the S channel has only black and white and no blue color. So everywhere the black color is, the structural ink will be applied. Now let's see how to separate the letters from the background by creating a border around text "Have a nice day." So first, we need to copy the letters of the text "Have a nice day" to Spot channel. To do that, first of all, make sure that you are standing on the CMYK channel. Click on it, and then go to Layer window to make sure that we're standing on the right layer. Now, working with this design, we have just one layer. However, with some more complicated pictures, it might be that you will have more layers, so you have to make sure that you're standing on the right layer and choosing the objects from it. Also, it sometimes happens that you open a new picture to work on and it has two layers, one with the image and another one empty. So once again, you have to make sure that you're standing on the right layer, because if you're not, you will see the picture in the channels, but you will not select or copy the object that you were intending to. After we are sure that we are standing on the right layer, we need to select the text. To do that, use Magic Wand tool on the left side, and then click anywhere on the red area. As you can see, Photoshop automatically catches all the details that are of the same color, in our case, red. Now, as we have a selection, we need to expand the letters. For that, go to Command Line to select, Modify, and click on Expand. The number of pixels is proportional to the size of the border, so the more pixels we use, the wider the border will be. For this design, we will choose Expand the image by 10 pixels. So type the number in and click OK. As you can see, now there is an outline line around the letters that makes the body of the letters wider. However, this is not the border yet because it still includes the letters as well. The next step, we need to deselect the letters, so only the border around the letters would remain. To do that, we will use a Magic Wand tool on the left side, but we need to switch it to the deselection function. To change the function, go to Command Line and look for the squares. At least on this computer, we need to choose the third square from the left side. To check if you have deselection function, move the magic wand on the picture, and you have to see a little minus next to the magic wand icon, as you can see on my screen. Now click anywhere on the red color, and all the red objects will be deselected. In this way, we have only the border left. Now we have to fill the border selection with the structural ink. To do that, we go back to the channels and choose S channel. We will fill the border with structural ink by going to Command Line, click Edit, and choose Fill. Check that you're filling it with 100% black and click OK. As you can see, now we have a black border around the letters that is separating the text "Have a nice day" from any details that are in the background. So that was the 4 most often used Photoshop functions when creating DIMENSE designs. Using these functions will help you to create structure in a faster and easier way.